Dr. Soo Goh, and I'm the clarinet faculty here, clarinet professor here, and I'm also the music performance coordinator at the High School of Music at App State. Currently, we have instrumental. That's one of the concentration, and then of course we have the vocal concentration or voice concentration. We have composition and theory, and finally we have sacred music. So those are the four main areas that we currently offer at the High School of Music for music performance. The music performance degree program first appeared in the University catalog around 1971, 1972 or so. And then over the years between the 70s until today, there has been various changes. For example, in 1979, we added what we call tracks, which is what currently shows up in our catalog. And the tracks back then in 1970, by 1979, the tracks shows church music, that's one of the performance track, theory and composition, that is still in existence today, piano pedagogy, and vocal and instrumental performance. Right, so that's in 1979. And then by the early 90s, piano pedagogy, for whatever reason, that is no longer offered. And then finally, the last revision was 2015 and 16, around there in the academic year here. And we make a significant change in the performance degree program here because we want to make sure that our students are going to go out there and become a become a healthy and healthy performers here. And we added components, things like wellness. For example, Alexander technique, which is a way of performing with the proper body posture so that the musician doesn't get injured. That was added in that revision, the 2015 and 16. And then we also recognized back then that music performers, musicians, freelance musicians, which many of our students will eventually become, they also need a little bit of personal finance knowledge. So we added a course on that, or requirement to take a course on that. And then we also added components of entrepreneurship and also technology. Those are things that 21st century musicians need to know. So we recognize that these are the things that our students need to know, and we added it to our program. A lot of institutions like to say they have world-class faculty, and we do as well. And what makes us unique and what makes us such an incredible place to study music performance is that our faculty are actively performing in their field. They are constantly concertizing. They are out there playing in conferences. They are playing in regional and national orchestra. Some of them actually even tour. So they are active in the field, and therefore they're able to share with our students what is required to be a successful performer. And that's one of the element of that, of why High School Music is such a wonderful place to study music performance. And of course, our student and faculty mentorship. As I mentioned before, the faculty really do advise the student and tell the student, these are the things that you need to do, or you need to beef up on to become a successful musician. So they mentor their students closely. So the two main paths we can think of is, upon graduation, students can do what we call freelancing, meaning that after they graduate from App State, they can play in gigs, they can freelance in regional and national orchestras, right? Or they can audition for professional orchestra and they can become a permanent member, or they can audition as a sub for the Western Piedmont Symphony, for example, in Hickory, right? They can do that. Or some students, they would go and they would pursue further studies, and they go to graduate schools. So they go to graduate school to study the Master of Music in Performance, and then eventually, if they want to teach in higher education, for example, like App State, then they would pursue their doctorate. As long as you can play well, you can get gigs immediately, right? So So you're here, you spend 4 years with our faculty, which teaches you all the skill sets you need to be successful in addition to the mentorship here. But students can start freelancing. For example, in the regional orchestra, we have the Western Piedmont Symphony, we have the Johnson City Symphony, we have the Symphony of Mountains, we have Greensboro Symphony. They're all within about 2 hours drive. And oftentimes they would have auditions for what we call subs or substitutes. And that's a learning opportunity in itself to take auditions, or real auditions. You put yourself on the spot, and heck, if you win the job, then you get called back over and over again, and you get that opportunity to play with a professional orchestra right off the bat. So they can do that. We also have this amazing opportunity to teach called the Community Music School at the Hay School of Music here. And whether performers like it or not, we are all fundamentally teachers also. And in fact, we get better. We become better performer by teaching. Because when we teach and we help students to solve problems, it makes us think. It makes us think of ways to help students solve problems. And it makes us better because sometimes that solution is transferable to us as well.